What's good, y'all? It's Tyler, and I got a great one for you guys today. And as you can see, we repping Georgia, Atlanta for the day. And look, the funny part is, the only Atlanta teams that I actually like are the Dogs and the Braves. I don't like the Hawks or the Falcons. And they're the only ones that won, so I'm not complaining. But with all that aside, I'm gonna take a little break from the hair content, not forever, just for a little bit, to post a highly requested video. So this past week on my Instagram, I posted these pictures. And this one in particular, I had a bunch of people asking, Tyler, how'd you do that? Edit tutorial? And you know me, I'm not gonna keep y'all waiting. Anyway, let's get into the video. Now for this video, I'm gonna give y'all a tutorial on that specific picture, but I'm also gonna show y'all how I edit all my Instagram pictures just to give you an overarching idea of how I post on Instagram. So let's get into it. So the first thing I do after I take pictures is save all of my photos to favorites, but for the purpose of the video, I just made a whole different album. Now, as you can see, this is all the pictures I'm planning to post, but this one, I wanna blur it. And notice how it's a live photo, so it's basically like a video in a photo. So what I'm gonna do is hit live right here, and then hit long exposure, and it's gonna give me that blur effect. So I'm gonna take these two photos and give the effect that the reflection is looking back in this one, when it's really just two different photos pasted together. So the app that I'm gonna use to do that is Pixar. Now when I open Pixar, I'm just gonna hit the plus at the bottom, and I'm gonna scroll down until I see the album that I just made. First, I'm gonna select the blurred photo right here. And then I'm gonna scroll and hit add photo. Again, I'm gonna go to the album I just made and select this picture, add. Now I'm gonna crop so the resolution on both of them is the same. Now this is kind of the trickiest part because most apps where you crop, it gives you like a barrier, but this one lets you crop wherever and it's kind of hard to stop it exactly where you want it. So it takes some trial and error. But once you get it cropped, it should look like this, just like one photo because they have the same resolution. After that, you're just gonna tap on the photo and then hit the eraser at the top. Now, what you're gonna do, erase, you're just gonna kind of outline where you think the other picture is gonna start. As you can see, since I already done this, I already have a good idea of where I wanted to outline. So I'm just gonna outline to there, and now I don't need any more. It obviously looks like two different photos. So the way I fix this is by hitting restore. And then once I get closer to my body, it can kind of cut off some. So to bring it back, I'm gonna erase, and then I'm gonna go restore again. But I'm gonna make my brush size smaller so that when I get closer to my body, it won't take off as much. And you can just play around with this, do some trial and error until you get it how you want. It should only take about 5 to 15 minutes, not too long. And then when you're done, it should look something like this. Now I didn't get it perfect for the purpose of the video. You can see I kind of messed up on that corner, but I just wanted to give you all a general idea of what it looked like. Then you're just gonna go, apply, and then you can save it from here. Like I said, I was gonna show y'all how to do the 2-man edit, but I'm also gonna show y'all how I actually edit all my Instagram photos. And now it's not like I have a bunch of presets. I just take it different with every photo because with different lighting, it requires different editing. Now the app that I use is called Polarr. It's P-O-L-A-R-R. It's similar to Lightroom, but I actually prefer it. So I'm gonna show y'all how to use it right now. And we're gonna open that same folder we've been using before inside the app. So this is the picture I wanna edit first. And it doesn't look terrible, but there's some things I wanna fine tune in it. So first I'm gonna go to adjust, and since it's in such a light room, but it still looks kind of warm, I want it to pop more. So I'm gonna turn the exposure up. And keep in mind, when you mess with these settings, don't do it too drastically because you're only making slight edits. You don't wanna make it into a completely new picture. You just wanna enhance what you already have. And at any time while you're editing, you can hold it down to see what the original picture looked like. Then I'm gonna turn the brightness down. And the reason I'm gonna do this is because I want the black in the hoodie to pop. And there are other settings you can change to achieve this, and I'll show you just in a second. Now, the way I normally edit is by putting the exposure down and the brightness up. But when I'm in a bright room, I tend to do the opposite because it gives a better look to the picture. Now for the contrast, I'm gonna put it up, but not too much. Now highlights wouldn't really have that much of an effect on this photo. As you can see, I can drag it 100 both ways. And it just affects the light fixture, so I'm just gonna leave it at 0. Now shadows, this is the most important one for this because as I said before, I want the black in the hoodie to pop. So I'm gonna turn this down and it'll make the black deeper, as you can see. This is what it looks like when I put it up. When I put it down, it gives the black more of a dark look. Now I'm gonna turn up the whites just slightly to make the brown in my skin reflect off of the black. And then again, I'm gonna turn my blacks down so it gives the hoodie a deeper black color. And then I'm gonna hit color, temp. As you can see, warmth is more red, cold is more blue, and there's a little orangish red tint in this photo. So I wanna turn it down slightly to give it a pure white look in the room. The vibrance, I would normally turn this up, but I'm gonna leave it as is because it wouldn't really make that much of a difference. And now I'm gonna hold it down so you can see the original photo versus the edit. Now I'm gonna show y'all how I edited this picture because it's a little bit different. So first, I'm gonna go in, turn the exposure down. And then I'm gonna turn the brightness down too. As you can see, it gives it a different look to the picture already. Now I'm gonna turn the contrast down as well. I'm gonna leave the highlights alone. Shadows down to give the hoodie a deeper black look. I'm gonna turn it a little more down this time, just to make it pop more. And then whites, I'm gonna turn up to differentiate the brown in my skin from the black in the hoodie. And then the blacks, I'm gonna turn down to give the hoodie a deeper black tone. Now, since the LED lights are kind of scattering that light in the back, that warm light, I'm gonna make it colder to eradicate that. And as you can see, it goes away just like that. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is turn up the vibrance. Now, what most people do to try to achieve this effect is mess with the saturation, but that'll just turn everything kind of reddish and orange, and it's not a good look. And vibrance is a much better way of achieving this. So now, before, after. Now I'm gonna show y'all one more example because this is how I normally edit photos in dimmer lighting. So I would always start by putting my exposure down and then my brightness up. After this, I would normally put my contrast down, and I'm gonna leave my highlights alone. I barely ever touch the highlights unless I'm taking pictures outside because it mostly affects the sky. Now shadows, I'm gonna turn these down. And then whites, I think they'll look better up. Actually, no, I'm gonna turn those down too. And then I'm gonna turn the blacks up. And then color, I think I'm gonna make this warmer. I feel like this would look better because there's more oranges, browns in the picture as opposed to whites. And then again, I'm gonna turn the vibrance up as opposed to saturation, and it'll look like this. That's the original photo, and this is it now. There are also other things you can do with this app. So for instance, I can add an orange shadow to this photo if I wanted to, because it kind of complements the colors. And it gives it a more vintage look if that's what you're going for. The way I edit is based off of what I want, but everyone's gonna want something different. So you just have to find what works for you. That's why I don't have any presets, because every photo is gonna be different. That's the original, and that's it with the shadow. So that will conclude our video for today. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Also, I wanna give a huge shout out to my boy Kenny, Careless Kenny. I'll link his channel in the description. He actually gave me the inspiration for this video, as well as the DMs and the requests I got to make a tutorial. But he actually made a video on it. I'll even link his video on his picture edits in the description so y'all can see how he edits his Instagram pictures. Now, I actually sat down, scheduled, planned, and have ideas of what I want to record now. So y'all gonna see a bunch of more consistent posts from me on YouTube, I promise. And even on TikTok and Instagram. I haven't really been active on social media lately. I've had some stuff in my life I had to take care of, but I'm gonna try to find a balance between that and social media. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, I almost said follow. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the bell if you wanna know whenever I post. Peace.